Hello, everyone. Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Detutu, and today I have a guest. Her name is Yewande. She's a product manager and with a different background, actually. And she's going to give us like a brief introduction to what product management is about and how she was able to transition into product management as a profession. Excuse me. Yewande is also a YouTuber. She has a YouTube where she talks about having locks. As you can see, she has beautiful locks on her head, and also about product management. So be sure to follow and subscribe on her channel. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. So Yewande, can you briefly introduce yourself to the viewers?
Okay. Hi everyone. Hi Detutu. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? Okay, so just as I think you've done like a good job introducing already. My name is Yewande. I am currently working as a product manager. I have been working as a product manager for about 5 years now. I currently live in Germany. I do have a technical background. So I have a technical background in computer science, and I transitioned to product management from another career. So I have some experience transitioning from careers. I've also been an entrepreneur in the past. Also, just as you said, I have a YouTube channel and a podcast all in one. My YouTube channel is really about helping people level up in their careers and their lives based on my own personal experiences, sharing other people's stories, and sharing what I learn. So I talk about different things about like how to do a career transition, what you should know about being a product manager. I also like to talk about lifestyle things. So like you mentioned, like my hair, I would like to read. So I talk about the books I've written and also give people tips on how they can read. I think another thing about me is I'm a writer. I have been blogging for over 10 years now on multiple platforms. So mostly I convert a lot of the things I've written into YouTube videos. And also in Berlin, where I live, I run an NGO called the Nigerian Community in Berlin with some of my friends, where we help people settle into the country. So yeah, about me is really a summary of like talking to people, technology, and then creating stuff.
Yeah, very interesting. You have so much going on, and it's nice to be able to see like you're able to manage multiple things at the same time. That's quite interesting. So can you give us like a brief, like to help us understand what product management is about? What does it entail?
Yeah, so product, it depends on who you're talking to. The definition you would get about product management is never the same amongst product managers. I would say product management, just to a definition that encapsulates everything. It's about seeing a challenge or seeing a problem, trying to craft a solution that solves that problem, and then building that solution with the help of others. So it's really there's a problem, a business problem, a user problem, a technical problem, and you as a product manager is saying, okay, we need to address this problem and understanding why should we address it and why should we do it now? And after that's done, you're also saying, how can we solve this problem? Usually you're not the one solving the problem, you're the one that's facilitating all of these things at the same time. So how can we solve this problem? What do we need to do? What resources do we have? What's the strategy to solve this problem? And when all of that is decided and concluded on, you're now building the problem with the help of developers mostly. There are product managers in other fields, not just tech, just FYI. Yeah. But product management is really known for the tech industry. So in the context of the tech industry, it is saying, how can we build this as a team with developers, with designers, with data analysts, and then after building it, it's building the solution, it's then managing the solution. You need to make sure that it's still providing the results it promised to provide. You need to make sure it is delivering value. You need to make sure you're improving it. You need to make sure people are actually getting satisfied by using it. And it's the whole life cycle all over again. It's really about solving problems.
Good. Thank you so much for that deeper explanation, and very simple as well. It's very easy to understand how you explained it. How were you able to transition into product management? Can you give us like a better understanding of how you were able to do that and the process basically? Yeah.
Okay, so for me, like I said, I have a background in computer science. I studied computer science with the hopes of becoming like a network engineer or doing something very technical, which I already started to do. But then I decided that that was not what I wanted to do with my life. This was really right out of school. And when you're fresh out of school, you really don't know what you want to do.
True.
Luckily for me, I got a lot of opportunities to volunteer. I'm very big on volunteering. I have been volunteering for different things right from secondary school. And then I took that same mindset and I was volunteering for multiple things. And while volunteering, I got an opportunity to work. I got an internship at a multinational, and after that internship, I was picked to stay on because it was you do this and then we pick some people and then other people, we connect them with other businesses or other companies. I got the opportunity to stay on, and that kind of like morphed my career from being a very technical person to working in sales and marketing. So I was really selling software products. I stopped doing that I transitioned that into category management. So I was a category manager and I was working on a global product for the Nigerian market, which is where I was living then. And then I was having a conversation with my manager about how I could grow in my career. And of course, when you have a good manager or someone that's observant, they see how you work and how you ask questions. And for me, apart from just being the category manager, I was very interested in the product itself. I was always thinking about how it could be better. Like I said, it was a global product. So when you're working on a global product, the markets that pay more money, like the US and Europe, they are prioritized.
Yeah.
And then the African markets are deprioritized, except it's the products that really capitalize on volume. My products capitalized on revenue. And I would come up with different ideas on how they could make the products better for the African markets. And my manager noticed that. And he said, I noticed how you always have all these suggestions and you have ways where we can even customize things ourselves. Have you thought about a career in product management? And I was like, what's that? And then he gave me some homework to do and told me to go research, told me to talk to some people. Luckily, since I was a multinational, there were product managers in the company, and I did talk to some of them. I set up one-on-one meetings. Most of them were not in my time zone, so I would have to stay back later at work to meet up with their own time. And I was getting to talk to them, to ask them what they were doing. I joined a few meetings. And I thought that this was very interesting. Also, I saw that they were working with developers, and remember I said I have a background in computer science, and I was once technical, so this wasn't so hard. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I used to be a developer for a very short period in my life, so I understand how developers think, what's the information they want to know before they work. And then I tried to transition within the company, but I couldn't transition. I needed more experience. There were also visa issues, all of that, and I decided to then do like a self-study to properly transition into product management. And one of the things I did was I stopped working at the job where I was, also because I had been there for a while and I wanted to do other things. So I transitioned to become an entrepreneur. And while I was an entrepreneur, I was also then fully transitioning into product management. I created a curriculum for myself because I couldn't find like training materials that would help me. Maybe I wasn't searching well, but I create my own, like from talking to the products people in the company, I could see some of the skills that they were using at their jobs. And I was also asking them about how are you doing this? How did you create this documentation? And then from that, I created my own curriculum to transition to product management, which involved things like, okay, how can I learn how to communicate with developers and stakeholders? How can I learn about the technical things they talk about that I have forgotten right now? How do I learn how to document? How do I learn how to create user stories? So I did start looking for individual courses on some of these topics. And then, I think that helped me. And then I eventually got a job as a product manager.
Wow, that's impressive that you created a curriculum yourself. Do you still have that curriculum like available? Do you still like refer to that curriculum sometimes, perhaps to refresh your memory? And
yes, I did. So remember I said I have been blogging for 10 years. One of the things I used to I was in like what we call the old blogosphere, where we had people blogging about their life experiences, and people's blogs were their personal diaries. So I was in that category of people. So I have been documenting my experiences and things that I have been learning, like right from the beginning. So when I started transitioning to, I was documenting these things. And when you're transitioning, you also don't know what you're doing, right? So you're trying different things. I was thinking about, oh, do I go for my MBA? Then I'll document me signing up for GMAT and say, these are the books I'm buying now. Or, you're trying different things. So while I was creating that, a lot of the things I was using, I shared them online. And people liked it so much that I think the first article I created on product management crashed my blog because so many people were so interested, and I shared the link there. I also shared the link in some of my YouTube videos in the description. I think I'll put it in almost everything because it's valuable for everyone.
Okay,
it's very
so you guys
scattered.
check it out, check it out if you're interested in product management. Okay.
Yeah. I'll share it in more of my product management related videos.
Okay, thank you so much. But so far you seem very excited about product management. What do you enjoy about working in product management? Like when you wake up each day, what fascinates you? Okay, today I'm going to work, I'm happy to go to work. What actually do you enjoy about it?
Yeah, no, I'm just an excited person. Yeah, no, you're right. I am quite excited about it. Of course, working is a job. No one is that excited to work, but I really try to ensure I do things I'm passionate about and things that I really want to do and like to do. Yeah, that's just my philosophy in life, and that's the reason why I can do so many things, because these are things I really want to do. With product management, one of the things I really like about it is the people I work with currently. I really have a great team of people, and we've been able to establish really good team values that really help us achieve the goals we want to achieve. And it's really nice when you work with people that you're in alignment with, and that doesn't happen all the time. So I think that's one thing for me. Another thing for me is the fact that you're building things. If you're a builder at heart and you get to do that every day for work, it's really exciting. You truly feel like you're doing something in line with your purpose. That's another thing. And then product management as a career is it's a career for, or I would say it's a job / a career if you're the kind of person that doesn't really like to do one thing, which I would put myself in that category, because today you're really focused on analytics. The next day you're conceptualizing designs with designers. Depending on the company you're at, you're probably even doing these things yourself. So today I'm doing research. Tomorrow I'm talking with management. Next tomorrow I'm actually with my users and my customers, and I'm asking them questions, or we're using the products together. So I guess the fact that every day is not the same, and some days you don't know what to expect. Some days are boring, some days are not. It's really good for me. I will be bored if I had to do the same thing every day for years, right? So for me, the fact that it's different is really exciting.
Okay, interesting. So what are the skills that are like necessary for a career in product management? Having been in this profession for a couple of years now, you've been there, you've developed yourself. Like, what would you say, okay, if you're speaking to somebody who is just about to go into product management, what are the skills they need to develop or already have that would help them to build a career, enjoy the job, and make a name for themselves in this field?
Yeah, the number one skill, I think everybody agrees with this, most product managers, is really communication. You need to learn how to communicate with different people that have different skill levels, different skill sets, and are from different places. So you need to be able to communicate with your product, what it's about, and actually sell it to people. That's the first part in communicating. Then the second part is, now you need to explain how the product works, for example, what the benefits are. You're explaining it to technical people, to data people, or people that are more analytical. You're explaining it to marketing, and you might be doing all of these things in one meeting. You might not have the opportunity to break it down in one place, or right, to talk to different people. So you need to know how to simplify things, especially the technical things. And that's one of the reasons why the product management career was even created in the first place, is because business and technical, there's always been a gap. Business says we want to do one thing, then technical does something else. And it's not because they don't know what they're doing, it's just because there was no link to convey the messages that these two teams were trying to do. And it led to a lot of wastage in most organizations. Now, as product managers, you're the link in between both teams. And so communication is really one of the big skills that you need to learn. So that's one. The second part is strategic thinking. Because you're solving problems, there would almost never not be problems.
True.
As a product person, you need to prioritize, is this a problem we should be solving now? And why is this a problem we should be solving now? And that's one of the hardest questions. A lot of people don't think about it that way, because you're already presented with, if, for example, you're a project manager. As a project manager, you're presented with a problem and you're like, we're going to solve this problem anyway. You're not thinking about, is this important? Should we be doing it right now? Is there something better we should do? Or is there a different approach to how we should solve this? All of these questions that I just mentioned now, these are the things you'll be thinking about as a product manager. And that's what makes it different from like project management or like a BA career, for example. So I would say strategic thinking with problems and also with solutions. Because when you're thinking about solutions, there are always many ways to solve a problem. And you, as a product manager, need to look at all of the inputs you have and think about what the best outcome is. And you have to do it in a non-biased way, because the person you're thinking about all the time is the customer.
True.
And I think, I would say those are the two main things. Also, of course, working with people. One of the things I emphasized, and I created a video once about what do product managers do every day. And I emphasized that as a product manager, you're probably going to spend a lot of your time in meetings. So if you don't like to work with people, or you don't like people, and I know people like that, you will probably not like it as much. So working with people is something else. And these are kind of like the soft skills. Of course, they're hard skills as with any career. But I think if you have these three, you can actually, and you're saying, this is something I like to do, and I think I can do, then you can actually go ahead to consider other hard skills that you can learn.
Okay. And in terms of learning, you were able to create a curriculum on your own. Most people maybe don't want to do that, or do not know where to source for such kind of information, or do not have access to the people you had access to. What are the sources or platforms that you would recommend that people can, search for information on product management or any of the skills that you've mentioned now, for example, to help them develop the skills to help them?
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there about where you should start from as a product manager. My recommendation is start with this website called the Product School. I think when you start from there, they have so many resources that based on the direction you want to go, you would find your path from there. And the good thing is that all their resources are free. I always recommend to people that start with free resources. And then when you find that this is something you're ready to invest in, then you can now properly invest in the paid resources that are available. So start with Product School. Product School does weekly webinars with different topics, and they've been doing this for years. So they have like loads of content about product management. And then I think even on their website, they have courses that you can take that targeted at beginners, intermediate, and from there you can find other resources around like Product Coalition. There's Product Academy. Like I said, there's so many of them based on what you want to focus on. Also, most online course platforms like Udemy, Udacity, they have product management courses for beginners. So if this is something you already have a subscription to, or LinkedIn Learning, then you can just search for product management for beginners and then take it from there.
Okay. So guys, I'm going to have a look at the Product School website and link it down as well in the description box below. So check it out, and also other platforms that she has mentioned. So now, what would you say is the future of product management? Because people, of course, like for someone who wants to go into product management, they want to like see like the possibility of building a career, like a future, they are thinking maybe 10 years, 15 years. As someone who has been there for a while, how would you describe the future of product management as a profession for someone who is just about to get into this field, or someone who is currently there, but maybe in a much more junior position?
I would say if you're in a much more junior position, you should focus on getting the skills first and getting yourself in. One of the hardest things to do as a product manager now is even getting in, because there's this conundrum about a lot of businesses want people that have experience, but then if no one has given you a chance in the first place, how would you get experience? So I would say for beginners, two things you should do is try to get yourself a job or an internship as a product manager, number one, and try to get it in the field you're actually interested in, because that's really it. If you're in alignment with both of them, like you like fashion, for example, or you're interested in climate change, try, if it's possible for you to get it in both fields, get a job get a job first and get the job in that industry. That will be great for you, and then you can grow from there and you can grow in the future of that industry. So that's what I would recommend for beginners. But if you're not a beginner and you're thinking about, okay, what's next for product management or for product managers, I would say like the AI craze is still everywhere. As a product manager, you should at least have some level of knowledge in artificial intelligence, in blockchain technology, all of that information. You don't have to be a professional at it, but at least know what generative AI means and how you can apply it. I think that's a big thing. There might be some product management tasks that will be replaced by AI, and then there will be some new jobs created, because there are lots of things now that maybe product managers can now do even without developers because of AI. So I would say AI is one of the things you should look at. I will also say another thing that will be very important will be in the area of privacy and security, which there's a lot of data out there. So it's going to be quite important to know how to secure people's data, how to visualize people's data in a, in a way that it's reasonable to people. So people are going to be guarding their data a lot more. So it's good for you to understand what the regulations are, what the policies are. That would really, I think personally that would be useful in the future. Yeah, and I think really the field you're in determines what the future is. So like I said, if you're in fashion, there's future of fashion. How can you be even more advanced in there as a product manager? Are you in logistics? Are you in health tech? Are you in climate change? Knowing the future of your industry would help you know the future of your career in there.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much. Right, so as a professional in Germany and working in the tech space, how would you describe your experience like so far working in a country whose like official language is not English, working with people from different backgrounds, and like how has that been for you so far?
Yeah, for me, it's been interesting. I think that's the word. I've already I've been in Germany for 5 years and I have worked in 2 companies so far. And I think I've had vastly different experiences in both companies, and I hope to work, at least see other industries before I stop calling Germany home if that ever happens. But I think so far it's really interesting. I would say for someone that's interested in working in Germany in product, well, let me just talk. My experience for so far has been quite good, actually, as a product person. People are really helpful. Also, the city I live in is also very good. I live in Berlin, which is like the startup hub.
Yeah.
So I've met a lot of interesting product managers. I like to go for events. I like to go for meetups. I also organize meetups myself. So I get to talk to people as product managers, or people that are product managers and people in other fields. And I learned a lot from there. So it's been really good. People speak English a lot in Berlin, so that has been helpful for me. I haven't had to work in German, and actually that has affected the rates with which I have been able to learn German, because I speak English every day. So when I learn, I don't get to practice as much. Yeah, so I think those are the 2 things I would emphasize. It's been good. There's a lot of people to meet in the city I'm in, and then I get to work in English, and still learn German at the side.
Okay. And has your German improved despite you not like
no
speaking every day? Yeah. Because like I try to have like conversations with people who do not use German on a day-to-day, and to be honest, it's just very difficult if you don't use it. And if it's just like danke, bitte, or Entschuldigung that you're saying most of the time. Is there any way you're trying to like bridge that? gap.
I'm the worst poster child for this. I I got so tired of learning German at some point that I started learning Spanish actually, and that
Wow.
was the weirdest thing. But I'm just like, you know what, I want to do it, so I'm going to do it, and it was really good. So I'm gonna start learning German again, hopefully in a couple of weeks, fingers crossed. But yeah, I have been in. I can understand a bit of German to an extent if you're
Mm-hmm.
speaking slowly. But
Mm-hmm.
speaking it, I haven't practiced as much. But I hope this year I get to practice by going for more German meetups.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you speak Spanish better than German.
No, I just started learning Spanish
Okay,
like
okay.
in
All right.
December.
It's
Yeah.
impressive. Okay. So can you like help us to understand like more about the no code tech fields that's different, like no code tech fields aside product management? I know there are also some fields that anyway, you have a better understanding. Let me not just use my limited knowledge. So give us a better understanding of no code tech fields that people can also, do that's different from product management if product management is not something that, is interesting for them.
Yeah. Of course, there are a lot of if product management is not for you, and then you also don't want to code, there are a lot of career opportunities out there you can take advantage of that you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to code. Some very popular ones that still work in the field of creating technology. You can work as a researcher. Um, a lot of tech fields and a lot of software products require the help of researchers to talk to customers, to draft questions. It's not just talking to customers, there's a science and an art behind it. So there are people that are really trained in this, a lot of people up to PhD level on actually the psychology of people, how human human and computers can interact, also like how the brain works, things like that. So if you're interested in and that's research, I would say user research is a good career path you can check. There's also interaction design or UI. It's really how if you're a visual person and maybe you have some background in graphic design, that's something you can check out. A lot of apps and websites are designed by designers,
Mm-hmm.
and then those designs are passed along to developers to turn into code. So that's also something you can check out. I would also say project management or program management is also important in a lot of especially the bigger companies. So
Mm-hmm.
when you have cross-functional teams, so cross-functional teams just means that teams that do different things, but then you guys have like a link. Maybe there's a project you guys are working on together, you need to do. Project managers can help to facilitate that. And if you're a project manager already in another field, you can already transition with that knowledge into you can already transition with that knowledge. What else? Yeah, I would say there are a lot of other no code. There's also business analysis. I don't know much about business analysis because
Okay.
I've actually not worked with any directly, but I
Mm-hmm.
know BA or business analysis is another field you can consider. There's also QA. So some QAs actually do code, but there are different types. There's automated testing. QA is quality assurance tester.
Mm-hmm.
There's automated testing. There's manual testing. So you can also become a tester if that's something you're interested in. There's also product marketing, which is marketing, but really focused on software products, because it's also a different way of thinking and way of execution from regular marketing and billboards and digital marketing and then product marketing. So yeah, there's a lot more of them. I also have a video about no code because that's something that people
Guys, check
ask
out
a
her
question
YouTube
about.
channel. You are going to get all the information you need, to be honest, about product management, which is why I invited her to my channel to have a conversation with her because she has a wealth of knowledge on this field. And yeah, just check out her channel basically. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, these are some that you can think about.
Okay. Thank you so much. Like I've also learned a couple of things from this conversation. I'm probably going to ask you on how to multitask because I'm not very good at that, but we'll get to that sometime. Thank you everyone for watching this video to the end. If you found it extremely helpful, I did. Please give it a thumbs up, like, share with people who you think might be interested in product management. And do not forget to subscribe to Yewande's channel and support her there as well. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.